Hello and welcome back to the series where we try to conquer Pendor in 250 days. So I have leveled up once more, and indeed we are almost at level 30. So what I'm actually going to do is, well, I've come all the way back here to Torba because I took Sez. Okay, so we've basically taken every single Empire town. Ethos is currently under siege, so I thought, okay, this seems like probably the best time for me to kind of see what's going on, and I decided to talk to my minister because obviously we have the opportunity to get this wonderful thing here. So I am going to be taking the new King Helm. The new King Helm? Yes, we'll take the new King Helm. I have no idea what that does. I have no clue what that does, but yes, there you go. All right, so I have already placed some various loot in here, and there is the new King Helm. Okay, so it actually has really good stats. 60 to head armor and 6 to body armor. Obviously, this is much better than what I'm currently using, but I don't have 18 strength. I do need one more level, and then I can just place my points into that, and then I think I'll have 17, which is probably... yeah, actually, wait, no. Oh, no, it's going to take me a lot longer to get that. Might not be doable. Might not be doable, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, it would be really nice if I could use the chipped ebony longsword as well, because this is, of course, fantastic. By the way, I did get another baggage train just now, because you can get an unlimited amount from your minister. It's just the tavern keeper that is limited, of course. So otherwise, we're just going to be placing these baggage trains in here. This various loot in here. There's also armor here, as well as a runed silver axe. I'm actually going to be taking the runed silver axe because I wouldn't mind giving this to one of our companions. You know, one of the companions that is actually really strong, and they're going to be really, really good at using it. Or at least I can only hope that to be the case. So what I'm going to do is, why can't I not... Can I not put the horses in here? Okay, apparently I can't put horses in here for some reason. I don't know why, but there you go. Okay, so we're just going to be placing a couple of things in there. Nothing too dramatic, of course. I don't want to be super hardcore about that. We are basically just now going to go and get, wow, very little amounts of food too. Alright, so we've gone into another siege. This is Oragar Castle, and I actually haven't done this before. I'm not sure if we're even going to be able to do this, because I don't know whether you can tell, but the vision of this is completely and utterly bonkers. I don't actually understand what's going on here. We literally can't see anything. Yeah, this is very weird, actually. Yeah, not entirely sure. I did level up, by the way. I did level up. I am now level 30. So that is wonderful. We did manage to get a pretty good amount of kills. I did actually find a couple of vassals in a field battle, you know, just separated from the rest because they were obviously attacking Ethos at the time. They're still attacking it, but I managed to lure a couple of them away, and so I was able to prey upon some of those wonderful archers that are really, really easy to kill, you know what I mean? I was basically very specifically trying to get experience because I felt like, okay, we need this experience, we need to be able to get to level 30 so that my tactics skill can actually do its thing. So that's why we're here. Anyway, I'm actually going to be, you know what? Let's just charge. I feel like, I mean, look, we've gotten 0 kills. We've gotten 0 kills, the enemy has gotten 0 kills. I really think the mist and the fog makes a huge difference. I mean, really, look at how insane this is. These guys are not going to be able to do any damage to me. What do you bet? I highly doubt they're going to be able to do any damage. Well, I am getting a little bit of experience here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, if you can get kills against enemy archers that are relatively high tier, especially with a character that has low power strike, it is actually going to give you decent experience. You know, it's actually going to be pretty good. And it's definitely something that I would recommend you do if you do have a character like mine that doesn't have particularly good combat stats. It is very, very lucrative just to attack enemy archers. Obviously, that is kind of a no-brainer, you know, kind of obvious for me to say that right now, but it's true. You know? It's very, very true. I mean, you can see how much experience I'm getting from these crossbowmen right here, and it's exactly the same when you're dealing with archers on the battlefield too. And it's even easier, actually, on the battlefield because you're more than likely going to be able to daze the opponent quite dramatically, and it's just going to be super, super simple. Unfortunately for me, I am probably going to die. Oh, maybe not. Oh, no, maybe not, actually. Maybe not. I was kind of thinking that I'd die here. No, I'm alive. Wow, I'm surprised. Okay. I really thought I was going to die there for a second. Okay, let me just pick up the shield. There we go. Okay, and my forces, as you can clearly tell, are doing a fantastic job. You can see here that we've done about 80 casualties for the opponent. And most of the people that we're losing are just Empire Armored Crossbowmen. I don't really have any problem with losing those because we can just recruit more relatively quickly. And while they do take a bit of time to level up, when you're... Oh dear, I'm in a pretty bad situation here. I'm just literally yapping without doing anything else. So let's not do that, shall we? Let me... you know what I'm going to do? I am actually going to get out of here. I'm just going to get out of here. Technically, I was going, if I could, I was going to go up there and see if I could, you know, murder some more archers, but I have a feeling that I'm probably just going to end up dying if I do that. So I'd rather not, if I can help it. Generally, I figured out over the course of many, many years, and this is obvious, this is going to be an obvious thing that I'm going to say right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that have played the game for a long time, you're also always, you're going to know this already, right? You're going to know this already. But for those of you that might not, okay, I'm going to say it. If you get eliminated in a battle, it's actually worse than if you stay with around, you know, the amount of HP that I have right now. If you stay with low HP and you stay alive, it's much better than if you get knocked out. And obviously, I'm not talking about when you're at 1 HP. I'm talking about when you have a sizable amount, but not too little, okay? Because obviously, if you have too little, then that again, you know, that doesn't really help you. It's kind of almost the same as being eliminated. But if you have a little bit on the bar, that's really good. And you probably want to try to maintain that as much as possible because you're still going to have your party skills, you see. You're still going to have the party skills, and they are still going to be active and helping you. And that really makes a huge difference, especially when it comes to surgery skill, especially when it comes to all kinds of things like that. Pathfinding, things like that, when you're trying to run away, absolutely invaluable. And there it is, 40 renown for us right there, not too bad, and we are obviously going to now be putting the runed silver axe in the loot here, just so that someone can take... No one wanted to take it? No one wanted to take this. No one wanted to take this literally really, really good weapon. Okay, that's kind of strange. I will put the New King helmet in there, and as you can see, Julia is going to wear that. We are not going to be able to wear that in quite some time, so I'm going to give it to someone else so that they can actually make use of it. Alright, so it's time for us to fight against Agathon Legatus. Now, this guy is actually kind of dangerous. He has Knights of the Phoenix, as far as I can tell. And these guys, I'm not sure what's actually going on with the mist, by the way. The fog and the mist in this area is just terrible. Really, really annoying to deal with, but anyway. This guy is probably one of the most dangerous vassals that we can fight, and I seem to recall he's really good. He's one of those, you know, he's one of those vassals that you probably don't want to miss out on if you're trying to recruit people or trying to accept people to your side when you're the leader of a faction. Usually he's got a good personality, he's got good amounts of renown, so he's able to field relatively large parties, and indeed he is here as well. He has 227 troops, which is a sizable amount, you know, sizable amount for a single vassal. It's very, very good. Otherwise, apart from that, we are going to have some problems with this guy because apart from that, he is indeed holding position, which I'm not a big fan of. I would have much preferred him to charge, but we're just going to have to deal with him the old-fashioned way, I suppose, and just try to maybe bait him over here. Maybe that's what we can do. It very much depends. We have a load of cavalry, by the way. Sally outs are not really, unfortunately, working for me right now. I don't know why, because a lot of my cavalry should technically be counted as archers, because they do have ranged capabilities. But for some reason, I'm still not getting the sally out. I don't know. Bit strange, but, you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. And otherwise, yes, we're now starting to be in range. So let me just get my people over here. Let's put them over there. I just want to get my cavalry into position that could potentially go in for a flank if we need to. And we've got, who do we have here? Kavera at the front. She's technically really, really good if she can get into melee, so I don't really want to let her be at the front for no reason, so I'm going to move my crossbowmen to be somewhat close to them as well. Okay, so let's charge in. They are going to, I mean, obvious. Oh no, he's actually an Iron Circle Centurion guy. Yeah, he's also got Knights of the Phoenix too, by the way. Oh dear. Okay, this might be... Oh yeah, this might be a little bit harsh. Iron Circle Centurions are some of the best in the game, from what I recall. So we might have some trouble on our hands here. I mean, I don't know. It depends. I mean, most of my troops are indeed standard. You know, they're not knighthood order or anything like that. But this guy, he's meaning some business. He's got some pretty big business in his pants, and I'm not sure if we can really handle that, but maybe we can, you know? As long as we don't turn our backs on him, we should be absolutely fine. Oh, nice, look at that. Massive amounts of experience gain from killing those as well. And you can see here, look at this. Look at how much experience we get for killing these Empire Armored Crossbowmen. We get 300 experience. And that's exactly what I was talking about before when we were in the siege at Oregar Castle. It is so good to kill these archers, and because they are crossbowmen, of course, they are really slow when it comes to fire rate, so super easy to deal with. And indeed, if the enemy comes along with Empire Gladiators, it's even nicer then, because Empire Gladiators don't have a shield, so you could potentially get some kills with your ranged weapon solution, whatever you want to use. But yeah, most of the time, a nice swift hit to the head or somewhere near to that, it's probably going to handle it pretty nicely. Alright, so we did end up losing a handful of troops, but as you can see, I got 21 kills. Most of those kills were units with over 200 or 300 experience to gain from getting that kill. So really nice for leveling up, and indeed, yep, there you go. Oh, I actually, did I kill Mr. Legatus himself? I don't think so, right? No, I don't think so. But yeah, anyway, there we go. Yes, you have a feeling that the defeated lord almost likes your kingdom. See, now this is exactly what I'm talking about. This guy is great. If you can get this guy, you're going to be really lucky. I've had him in a number of factions in the past when I've created my own faction, and he's... yeah, he's really good. So we're going to let him go. And there, the tales are true. You are indeed a woman of honor, madam. I shall not forget this day. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Ooh, here we go. Nice. Okay, this is fantastic. We've got a sally out straight away, and we've got the high ground, which is obviously amazing, as we know from ROTS. And otherwise, we also have Ethos. Yes, Ethos has been taken by the Empire, and I'm not really sure what to do about that right now. I know that the best course of action for me would be to just immediately rush back, right? The best course is just to go straight on back, try to take it as soon as possible. But the main problem with that is that I'm not sure if the vassals are still there. That's the main issue, because they have literally just taken it. I don't know whether you saw the message just now, but yeah, we're here at Maras Castle as well. I'm kind of hoping... Oh no, please don't die. I do not want to die here. If I die here, this is going to be very bad. Okay, we might be okay. Yeah, nice. That was a Knight of the Phoenix, no less. Okay, nice. Thank you. Thank you, Heretic Magnus. Thank you. Okay, I was very pleased to see him coming over to help me. Okay, yeah. I am going to literally stay back here. I'm not going to do anything. I really want to make sure we get the renown here, because my shield is almost destroyed. There's pretty much no reason for me to go in. We've already lost 7 people, which is not great. However, there are only 300 people in the garrison here. So it's going to be super easy to take this once we have eliminated the remaining forces in this sally out. And there it is, 51 renown for us, and we did end up losing an Noldor Ranger once again. I mean, I'm basically losing them almost all the time now, which is really kind of sad, but they served us extremely well to get to this point, and now we're rolling. Now we're rolling relatively nicely here, so hopefully we're going to be able to continue with that. I did end up losing a couple of Empire Armored Crossbowmen as well, but that is just how it has to be. And now let's go in straight away again, because I don't want to lose any time. And I obviously have the advantage here dramatically just by being on this hill. And we should theoretically completely murder everything in this castle. And there's the victory for us, the final kills falling. And we're going to get 27 renown for it. And we basically took 0 casualties. Of course we did. Of course we didn't take any casualties. We were just standing outside completely bombarding everyone. All of the extremely high tier troops were killed very easily because I mean, we just killed them. You know, we just killed them from range. They didn't have anything that could actually damage us. And if they did try to damage us, well, we just didn't die from it. So there you go. Very nice and simple. We get a gold bar for our troubles and a handful of other things that I'm not actually going to be taking or anything like that. And then we can have a look at the... Oh, yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Now, this is what we want to see. So I'm going to take the Singalian Temptresses, going to take the Stalkers. Do we have anything else that's actually kind of good? It doesn't seem like it. We got some Ghazi Reavers here. We got some Noble Riders and things like that as well. Eventide Gilman, that might actually be really, really good too. Why not? Why not? And, yeah, we're going to have a bit of an issue here now because I don't really have anything else. I guess we could take the Desert Hunters, or we could take the Raiders. I guess we could take the Raiders. I have 8 spaces. The question is, do I want to take anything else? I think I'll just probably take these guys. Why not? Adonia actually leveled up as well. We got some more Maiden Adventurers. We got some of these guys leveled up too. I wonder when Anson's going to level up. Hopefully soon. Alright, so we're here at Ethos. I literally rushed over here straight away after Maris Castle. And I'm going to call a meeting and we're going to see... No. Really? Okay, I'm actually kind of surprised. They only have 54. They only have 54. And I was hopeful that my persuasion would be enough to handle it. But apparently it wasn't, which is a little bit disappointing. Speaking of Anson leveling up though, he has just reached level 15. That's fantastic. So now, now things are gonna get even better because now that he has 15 in his level, we will be able to get the final point for, I think it is 9 surgery, right? Because he currently has 26. I think he currently has 26. So yeah, it's gonna take him to 27 intelligence. That's going to mean that we can have 9 in surgery, 9 in engineering. We are, of course, going to be going for engineering, even though medic skills are great and definitely saves us a huge amount of trouble and everything, but I think surgery is basically going to be the only thing that's super important to me right now. So we're just going to be getting that after this. And then, yeah, these guys, yeah, unfortunately, without speed bonus or anything like that, they are actually going to take a bit of time to kill, which is a bit unfortunate, but, you know, it's just how it is. Low power strike. Low power strike, low strength character, that's just how it goes. And generally, if I had more time, I would have probably decided to go for a rune weapon. And, you know, I would have gotten myself a really nice ruby sword or ruby axe or something like that. Or, you know, sapphire or something along those lines. That would be really tasty right now, but unfortunately, no. And after awarding Ethos to Lethal Durin, I'm now being attacked in the streets by a band of Red Brotherhood bandits. Of course we are. Just when I was talking about being a character with low strength, low power strike, and now I'm... What? I'm surprised that they're trying to murder me so hard here. Wow. Okay, at least have the decency to buy me dinner first. And there you go, there's the final kill. This guy, for some reason, was running away through the alleyways. Kind of a bit strange. Alright, so before we go into a battle in Almera Castle, because of course I am going to be... I'm continuing on my absolute siege spree right now. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm literally just trying to go as fast as possible to capture every single thing that I can in my vision range. If we don't do that, we're going to fall behind. We're going to fall behind. We have to make efficient, cutthroat decisions as fast as we can possibly make them. So we're going to be going for engineering here. We're going to be going for surgery. And Now we have 9 in engineering, which is so good. And we're going to be increasing Anson's firearm skill. Unfortunately, he hasn't been included in any of the battles, and that is probably the reason why he's taking so long to level up. But there's not much I can do about that, unfortunately, unless we want him to die all the time, I guess, kind of. Alright, so Almera Castle is the Almera Castle, and you know what I'm talking about. This is the castle that is extremely difficult to take, because you head into the courtyard and then everyone shoots you and you die. That's basically how this siege works. Now I'm going to try to brute force this. Okay, so we're going to brute force this, or try to. I'm not sure if that's going to really work. It probably won't. It might. Actually, you know what? It might. It might work, okay? I'm going to try it, just purely because we have so many archers. But I would definitely not try this if you don't have a huge amount of archers. And indeed, I am going to get shot now, which is really not very good. If I get shot, this is going to be super bad. I mean, killed, because I've already been shot. Actually, it might work. The enemy just doesn't have enough archers. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, they don't have enough archers. So this is inherently our victory now. Because the funny thing is, if they had a bunch more archers, they would have archers up here, behind us, up here. And then over there, they would have loads of archers. And then over there, they'd have loads of archers. And then over there, of course, which is where the ladders are, we would be surrounded on all sides. And technically, what I'm doing right now is fundamentally considered the incorrect strategy. And most of the time, you'd be right. 100%. You know, you would be 100% right about that. In this case, though, that's not the case. We are actually perfectly fine. We are no problems whatsoever here now. Now, here's the alternate strategy. If you don't know this, okay, I've done this multiple times in the past, and generally this only really works if you have really high skill troops. You can go to the top of that hill over there, and your archers will fire over the walls, and you could potentially kill enemies all the way where the ladders are. Which you know what I pointed to earlier, right? So that is the alternate strategy that, as I say, mostly only works when you have really high skill characters. And I'm not sure if it works with Empire Armored Crossbowmen. I've only really done that strategy when I've had really good troops. So I'm talking about Noldor, I'm talking about, hero adventurers, heroine adventurers, and things like that. And I'm talking about a mass amount of them. You know, I'm talking about a significant number. Because if you don't have a significant number, then most of them are not going to die, and you're going to have issues, and it's going to be very unfortunate, uncomfortable, whatever. So those are the things that I'm talking about. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know the various strategies that you can use, because this is actually known as being one of the more difficult sieges. Ow. Yeah, let's not die. Even though I am charging right now, technically it doesn't matter if I die right now, but I would prefer not. Okay, I would prefer not, but yes. So yeah, technically Almera Castle is known as one of the more difficult sieges, just because when you go into this courtyard, it's basically certain death if the enemy has a good amount of ranged. But in this case, they didn't, so we are absolutely fine. And I'm actually very surprised. We can get a couple of kills here with my bow. Funnily enough, my bow is not even bad. I mean, funnily enough, it is actually pretty bad, but I am getting kills nevertheless, you know? And I guess it just goes to show that generally anything can work as long as you've got a decent amount of proficiency, and or you're hitting enemies that are not very well armored, because these guys are, of course, they're light, you know? These guys are literally light infantry, so most of the time they're not going to be super harsh to deal with. But if you were dealing with, you know, people that are much better armored and they're wearing plate armor or something like that, it's probably going to be a bit difficult. Alright, so there it is, 31 renown for us. Obviously, I don't really care that much about the renown, but generally, I'm happy that we were able to even achieve victory without any sally outs. That was a 0 sally out, just straight from 0 thing that we did right there. And we also, oh, look at this, I got a new upgrade for my sword. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, I like it, I like it. And everything else is not really going to be that useful, unfortunately, but yeah, there you go. All right, that is apparently it. We can level up a couple of troops and then we can move on. Ah, now look at what we have here. We have a peace agreement from the Bacchus Empire. And I am actually... I'm pretty tempted. I'm pretty tempted to take it, actually, because they only have a handful of castles remaining, and from what I know from our previous series where we, attempted to conquer Calradia in 100 days, generally when a faction has only a handful of castles remaining, some of their vassals do decide to defect, and I think that could offer them that opportunity. So I'm going to say yes. It is now time, because we are, of course, now at peace with the Empire. It's time for us to choose a new enemy, and we can't spend too long, humming and hawing about it, so we're gonna have to make a choice right now. And I'm choosing Sarlian, because they are a central power in Pendor, and I think that they're probably going to allow us to do a little bit more in regards to territory expansion, because technically what we could do is we could go over to the west and we could attack the Fyrdsvein. Attacking the Fyrdsvein would provide us with a pretty decent route over to the Ravenstern, but the problem is it doesn't really provide us with a huge amount of territory to cover. And I personally believe it's better to do it this way. So we are going to be attacking him. Let's do this. He has 345. I'm starting with the hardest vassal that they have. Or shall we say, not a vassal, but you know what I mean. The hardest lord that they have available. And that is indeed the king himself. And the reason why I'm doing that, of course, is to set a precedent. I am setting a precedent that he is nothing in comparison to us. And we need to make sure that everyone knows it, because otherwise they're gonna try to take advantage. They're gonna try to take advantage of things. So let's try to do this if we can. And this guy doesn't know what he's doing, so I will just pick him off. And wow, this guy has no idea what he's doing either. Okay, this is some weird stuff right now. That guy has a lance, so he definitely knows what he's doing. Is that the king himself? I think that might be the king. Yeah, he's probably gonna kill someone right now. Or not, as the case may be. But the reason why I wanted to attack Sarlian as well is because they don't have any shields for their halberdiers. And their archers are not very good. So generally, I'm pretty happy about that, actually. I'm pretty happy to be fighting a different faction other than the Empire, because the Empire are, in my opinion, pretty good. They do have some great knighthood orders as well, and so generally fighting them, not my favorite, not my favorite thing to do. But you can see here just how easy it is to eliminate the Sarlian forces. They don't really have much. Funnily enough, though, they could still kill me pretty easily, as you can tell, because I don't have that much HP, Generally, yeah, this is the funny thing as well. If I was playing with the standard sort of character build that almost every single person decides to go for in Pendor, which is obviously, heavy, pretty much heavy power strike, iron flesh, and so on and so forth, because you want to be as good as possible at combat, especially to take, advantage of the rune weapons and the various other things like that. Usually, I would have so much HP right now. I'd have about 80 HP maybe. And that would, it wouldn't make me immune to death, but it would definitely make it very, very difficult for me to die. And, I don't have that right now. I have literally 55 or 56 or something like that, which is just, well, not very good, in comparison. Because I can die in literally one or two hits to the head, and I'm out of there, But you can see here, look at how easy it is for us to eliminate these guys. Sarlian, I feel like Sarlian, it's quite funny as well, because basically Sarlian is the kind of weird faction to me, because on paper they look really cool, right? You know, they look really cool. They got these big knights with lances, and they got these wonderfully royal looking longbowmen. You know, they remind me a little bit of, you know, of English longbowmen and things like that from, you know, way back. They remind me of that. But they're not very good, you know? They're still not very good. And it's quite funny, because a lot of the other factions have... at least I feel like they have dangerous units. Because the Fyrdsvain, I feel like they have a lot of dangerous units. They've got a lot of really heavy hitters, right? And then you've got the Empire, of course, crossbowmen, you know. And I'm talking about their standard units right now. I'm not talking about, you know, knighthood orders or anything like that. But, you know, I'm talking about, you know, standard-ish units. And then you've got the crossbowmen for the Empire. Then you have the Dashar Ghazi Stalkers, right? And they're... as you know, they can be very, very effective, and they can be quite scary. And then you've, of course, got the Ravenstone Rangers, right? The Ravenstone Rangers are really, really good at what they do. They're not my favorite, because the Ravenstone Rangers are a little bit too fragile for my liking, but they are fantastic when it comes to range, right? Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be kept at range. They're supposed to do damage like that. They're not supposed to be great in melee combat or anything. But, yeah. Anyway, despite that, you then think about, okay, well, what does Sarlian have? Well, they've got some good knights, right? Kind of, you know, kind of good, you know, good knights. And then they've got longbowmen, which are not great. You know, they're kind of a little bit in the middle, shall we say? You know, they're in a little bit in a kind of a weird spot when it comes to their stats and gear and so on. And then you've got, what? The Halberdiers, right? And the Halberdiers are insanely good against cavalry. Because of course they are. You know, that's what they're supposed to do, right? They're supposed to be really, really good against cavalry. But against anything else, and against archers, which Pendor is very well known for. Pendor is the archer mod, because almost every single character in the game has some kind of ranged solution. You know, they've got all kinds of ranged capabilities. Like, you know, even cavalry have a bunch of ranged weaponry, like you know, all the adventurer type units, they've all got ranged crossbowmen. They've got crossbows, shall we say, and you know, the Ghazi Stalkers, of course, like I told you before, they're horse archers. They've got ranged. Almost every single thing has ranged in the game, and so generally, halberdiers, they're not really going to be doing anything very much against anything that has range, because they have no shield, so they're just going to get shot to pieces before they can even do anything. And I've always found that to be a bit strange. I mean, not the fact that they don't have shields, but the fact that Sarlian is seemingly quite behind the other factions when it comes to how strong they are. But maybe that's just because I've never really I don't know, I've never really played with them that much. Maybe that's the reason, you know? Maybe I've just not played with them enough to get enough experience to see, like, oh, actually, this is what's really good about them. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I just need to play with them a little bit and then see what's happening. But yeah, anyway, we did end up defeating him. Unfortunately, he did manage to escape, which is kind of unfortunate. Would have been really nice if we could have taken him prisoner, just to prevent him from coming back, to be honest. That would have been really, really nice. But yeah. Unlucky. Even though I have 9 in prisoner management, I don't know how he even managed to escape there, but, you know, it happens. And there we go. The Kingdom of Penetration has approached the Kingdom of Sarlian from behind, and they are indeed very ready. Okay, so we are otherwise just going to be continuing to level up Kavera's strength. As I said before, I basically just want to turn them into absolute monsters in melee combat, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. Okay, are these Noble Riders actually any good? Are these guys actually any good? Because I don't even know. They're okay. They're okay. They've got 300 in weapon proficiencies. If you take a look at, for example, the Maiden Adventurers instead. Oh no, oh yeah, okay, fine. They've got they've got good stats then. The noble cavalry, they've got good stats, but what about the noble riders? They probably don't. Yeah, they have slightly less than the maiden adventurers, but then you have the heroine adventurers who are insanely good, as you can see. Yeah, these are the ones that you want. You want to get these big stonkers to absolutely murder everything in sight. But yeah, anyway, we have now declared war against Sarlian. This is what the map currently looks like if you want to check it out. And obviously we've made peace with the Empire. I was here at Shieldstorm Keep when they made peace, because Wolven Castle, which I actually wanted to take, Wolven Castle has not a CKO, but has a knighthood order there that is the Guardian Empire, I think. Guardian Empire Knighthood order, I think. I don't know. But they do have a knighthood order there, and it would have been really nice for us to be able to take that. But it is a siege tower. It is a siege tower, so I won't be taking that anytime soon. But yeah, Shieldstorm Keep was going to be my next target, but then they made peace with us. So as you can see, I actually underestimated how many they had left, because I thought they had about 4, but they actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they have double the amount of castles than I thought they had. So it may very well be enough to keep them in the game a little bit longer, which is not fantastic. You know, I'm not a big fan of that. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.